G'day everyone, Marc here from Marc and Cars. Welcome back to the channel. Before we start today's video, I'd just like to thank Rec Watches for supporting the channel. Rec Watches make some amazing timepieces that are made from recycled car and aircraft parts. The one I'm wearing at the moment, the 90103, has some amazing detail of the 911 that it was made from, such as the VIN number of the chassis that the car was used to make the watch. Also, have a look at the back of the watch here with the Fuchs style detail. The grills on the side are quite reminiscent of the rear grille on a 911, along with the font style that is used on the face that is very also reminiscent of the 911 logo. Anyway, thanks to Rec Watches. Let's get on with the video. Welcome to City Beach in Perth. Today we're going to discuss the water-cooled cars manufactured by Porsche. We've got three 911s here. I've got the 996, the 997 and the 991. You'll notice an absent 992. I'll sort of add that in later. I couldn't actually get one here today, but you can see it is a stunning day. Middle of winter, what more could you ask for? Anyway, let's have a close look at the cars.
1997 saw the introduction of Porsche's first water-cooled 911. The car it replaced, the 993, was dating very quickly, and due to the incoming pollution controls, water cooling was inevitable. The benefit of water cooling meant the introduction of a new engine which punched out in stock form in 3.4 litre, 296 horsepower. So the car's engine's performance was quite incredible. Add that to a 45% stiffer chassis and 50 kilos lighter than a 993, overall the car dynamically was an amazing car to drive. The single biggest criticism of the car to date is the fried egg style headlights, which during its 2002 facelift were upgraded to be very similar to the turbo headlights, which are very different to the Boxster headlights which were common with the first generation 996s. This being the case, it meant that owners could differentiate their cars from the entry-level Porsche.
I'm Vassil Balakrishnan, and I've had my 911 996, which is a 1998 model, for about 2 years now. For me, it reminds me of my late sister. She was she loved her Porsche. My last gift to my sister was a GT3 RS. So she always loved Porsche. For me, the 996 was within my price range. So I thought this is a good opportunity for me to buy something to remind me of my late sister. So that's why I bought the 996. Yeah, the handling is amazing. I've had a performance car, previous performance cars before, and this one, I think the handling is amazing on the road. It's pretty quick, and for its age, I think it's 1998, so almost about 22 years now. It's quite advanced for its age. I think during its time, it's done really well. And I love going for the Porsche drives with the club, Porsche Club of WA, and in meeting new friends, obviously with the car people with same mindset, car enthusiasts. So really enjoy the experience on the overall itself, not just the car, but the people who have similar passion.
2004 saw the introduction of Porsche's new 997 911. The car itself is an absolute beautiful car to look at. It seemed to hit that right balance between a new modern GT Tourer and a traditional 911. After many comments from 911 owners over distinguishing between the Boxster, which shared a lot of its platform and front end with the 996, Porsche decided to revert back to the original round headlight design, and overall the car's interior and exterior are a big step forward from the 996. They really do look like a modern 911. The car itself had not a lot of changes internally other than the interior and exterior. The chassis very similar, a very slight list of changes to the drivetrain. However, with the introduction of the 997.2, as it's affectionately known, in 2009, we saw a new dual clutch PDK gearbox. This was an absolute revelation to these cars. They made the cars perform incredibly well and became a really comfortable, amazing, everyday driving car. For a lot of people, the 997 is probably the prettiest of the modern Porsches. If you're in the market for a modern classic, the 997 is where a lot of purists tend to head to. So here we've got the owner of the 997, Greg. I'll confess I know Greg quite well from his previous car ownership. So Greg, tell us about this particular car.
Well, first of all, it's more or less a dual ownership. It's more my son's car these days, but we do tend to share our cars somewhat. Prior to this, he was driving around in my GT Falcon, and we've done a bit of a swapsy. So he's now running this car, and I'm running the GT Falcon. But I picked this car up about 3 years ago from Chellingworth. It's a locally delivered car. Beautiful history, drove like a new car, looked like a new car. I think about 28,000 kilometres when we got it. So it was just ticked all the boxes for me, and it wasn't silly money. So that was pretty cool. We very much love our Porsches. So I've got a G-Series Carrera 3.2 Targa, which is 1985. Got that in from Sydney. It was a partly renovated, sort of rejuvenated car, not a full resto, but it's been re-leathered and it's in good shape, repainted, and it's a very tidy car. So we do like our Porsches, and the family car is also Porsche Macan, which is a bit of fun. So yeah, we're very much into our Porsches.
Fantastic. Now this particular car, the 997,
Yeah.
Why the 997?
I think all 911s are beautiful. At the time, I just wanted the best Porsche I could get for the money that I had available. But I still love my manual gearboxes, and I don't think there's a smoother gearbox than this one, especially when it's warmed up. It's absolutely glorious. But it's just a lovely car to drive, and the involvement and being an earlier analog style car, and I do like the fact that it's got a lot of old tech in it. It's still got hydraulic steering. It's still got it's a non turbo car as well. 6-speed manual, and it just feels like a classic car, even though it's not that old. So it's a usable classic. Yeah, it ticks all the boxes.
Great. Thanks for bringing it along today.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
The 7th generation 911 was unveiled at the Frankfurt Motor Show in 2011. The 991. It actually won the 2012 World Performance Car of the Year. It was an entirely new platform, only the third since 1963. The new car was bigger, wider, longer, but actually lighter than the 997 that it superseded. The slightly longer wheelbase enabled the engine to be moved slightly further forward to better assist the weight distribution, and had quite a large effect on the handling of the car. It actually started to handle a bit more like a mid-engine sports car rather than a rear engine. The base model Carrera 3.4 litre put out 345 horsepower, with the S model at 3.8 litre at 395 horsepower. These are some pretty big numbers that are reflected in the performance of the car all round. 2016 saw a facelift of the 991 model called the 991.2. It received new bumpers, headlights, taillights, the normal stuff you see in a facelift, but the biggest change by far was the new 3-litre twin-turbo motor used across the range. Naturally aspirated 911s were a thing of the past in the main range of the car. Naturally, this had a lot of detractors, but anyone that drives one soon discovers how good the performance of these cars actually are.
So the 991 here is a 2012 example, stunning in silver, particularly in this light, I'm sure you'll agree. It is a 991.1 being a 2012, so yeah, it's a PDK car. Let's have a quick look inside. You'll actually notice it's got a 991.2 steering wheel for you Porsche nerds like myself out there, which means it's got the PDK shifters behind the steering wheel and the multi-function aspects of the steering wheel. Oh, it's actually quite a tasteful upgrade. It sort of makes the car a little more modern in my opinion. Lovely interior. You can really see the car is well maintained. Great colour combo, black on silver, probably the most common colour combo that leaves the factory, but nonetheless, very classy.
The 8th generation 911, the 992, was launched in 2018. The new all-aluminium body was bigger, wider, longer, and a lot more powerful than the outgoing 991. The car features staggered wheels with 20-inch diameter wheels in the front and 21s in the rear, and there's actually only one body width option that is going to be used across both the Carrera base model and the Carrera S, which traditionally had a wider body. Styling of the body overall is still very much 911, as you can tell here. The real prominent feature of the car is the full width light bar across the back, it really dominates the back of the car. That, combined with the vertical third brake light in the engine grille, makes the car very easy to identify compared to the 991. The car was launched only with an 8-speed PDK gearbox option. The 7-speed manual will be made available in the future in the S variants. So the base model Carrera is delivered with a 380 horsepower motor, the Carrera S 444 horsepower. Carrera S coupled with that PDK and if optioned with a Sport Chrono package means a 0 to 100 time in 3.5 seconds. That's pretty extraordinary for a base model car. The car interior wise is very much Porsche. The new feature, which is quite prominent, is that large analog tacho in the dash there, complemented with the LCD screens either side of it and a large LCD screen in the centre, which will control all the non-driving functionality. Fit and finish, like all 911s, is extraordinarily high quality. Even considering the high price of these cars these days, it is still world-class finishes. Overall, the car is a very large car, especially if you compare it to the earlier 911s, but it has become really the benchmark for not just sports cars, but also for modern GT touring cars these days, because this car can be driven very comfortably daily, but also unleash a lot of power, coupled with extraordinary handling, means the car is a lot of fun to drive as soon as you decide to.
As I'm sure you'll agree, all three cars are absolutely stunning. They were great in the light here down this morning at City Beach. I'd like to really thank the owners for getting up early on a Sunday morning and coming and checking out the cars. And if you like the video, you know what to do, all the stuff our YouTubers like. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch. Thanks for watching, Marc and Cars.